Hello, hello, lovely souls of the world. Welcome to our channel. This is Lunar Goddess Tarot, and I'm back today with another video. I have just come back from an incredible experience at a new acupuncture clinic, and I had some light therapy, some microcurrent therapy, some acupuncture therapy, as well as some gua sha, and I just can't rave about it enough. I suffer from TMJ. It's actually TMD, temporomandibular disorder, but people refer to it as TMJ. It's a disorder of the joints of your jaw, and it causes headaches, tinnitus, sinus pressure, sinus pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, and an overall feeling of just yuckiness, and over time it has gotten progressively worse. And so I found this incredible acupuncturist, and I'm really excited to see the benefits of the treatment. But the bonus is that with the acupuncture on your face, you get nice lifting and sculpting. So I'm excited to see those changes. I will share them with you guys. In case you're wondering, as you know, I'm a holistic wellness seeker of information, and so I'd love to share that with you, my followers. If you're looking for a personal reading in the month of June, guys, I still do have availability. It's first come, first serve each month, so please reach out to me at the email listed below in the description box. And if you're wanting to hop on over to Patreon to join Patreon, I have exclusive Patreon content. There's 5 levels, and it starts at just $5 a month. And there's no obligation beyond that month. So if you see it, you don't like it, you can leave, you can come back. It's entirely up to you. And I have some really exciting things on the way. I'm collaborating with one of our soul sisters who I actually met through our channel. Her name is Kelly, and we're going to be collaborating on lots of projects here coming up. So I'm excited to announce those to all of you. And I want to commit to a more regular schedule, at least maybe 2 or 3 days of the week, where you can expect a video from me at a certain time. So that's something I'm working on as well. So stay tuned for more, subscribe to the channel, and I'd like to get some summer solstice energy and vibes going on here because we are approaching the summer solstice. I believe it's on the 21st here of June. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to tap into the energies of the summer solstice to find out what is in store for us. What gifts does this summer solstice carry, and how can we best work with the energy? So I've chosen the Moonology deck, I've chosen the Light Seers deck, and I've chosen the Work Your Light Oracle. Summer solstice brings in a lot of light, whereas winter solstice brings in more of the shadow work or the darker aspects of our humanity. So I really feel, as I've been talking about over the past, let's say, week or so, maybe 2 weeks, that things are starting to shift in a much more positive way. And so a lot of us are feeling a lot more positive, more hopeful, and more joyful than we have potentially for the past 1.5 years since we became entwined in this global situation. So I'd like to invite in my guides and my higher self, and like to ask that I become a vessel of pure divine truth for this channel, and divine compassion, divine understanding, so that I can relay the messages in the most compassionate manners. So thank you all for being here today. Thank you for your support, for your Patreon subscriptions, for your subscribing to the channel, for your likes, your comments, your shares, your emails, for booking private readings with me. I'm grateful for all of it. This channel would not exist without you, plain and simple. So thank you for your presence. So looking at the Moonology deck, let's take a look at the energies and find out what is going on here with the summer solstice. Let's find out what are the challenging energies first, and then we're going to find out what we're working with. So challenging energies. Believe in the impossible, meditate and contemplate. So perhaps quieting the mind is challenging at this time. So quieting the mind could be challenging. This is new moon in Pisces energy. So Pisces sits in the 12th house of karmic completions, of cycles ending. And what it represents to us, it represents the ending of a chapter, the ending of a cycle, and a completion of something within our lives, internally or externally or both. And I think right now there's a lot of internal completion happening where we're really working on healing such deep, deep things. We have healed a lot of the superficial. We've healed codependency. We've healed from abandonment and rejection wounds as a collective. And now with the summer solstice, we're really, really, really letting go. This is a juicy energy. This is the energy of going within oneself and seeking answers and knowledge from the universe and from your heart and your soul versus trying to find the answers outside of you. This is where everyone is headed. This is the Aquarian age that we have stepped into, and it's beautiful. And more people are awakening. They're not reporting it on the news. You're not going to see it on the nightly news, but it is happening. And I'm encountering people every single day that have awakened, that are awake, that are in the process of awakening, or that have been awake for many, many years, that have been awake almost their entire lives. And so we're asked to believe in the impossible. So some of the challenges may be that you're finding it hard to find quiet time, peace and quiet, or time to meditate, time to contemplate, time to go within. So it's imperative that you do so on or around this summer solstice. And then it's imperative that we continue to have faith and believe in what we can't see, believing in the impossible. We are not meant to know everything on this human journey. We are meant to be in the dark sometimes. We are meant to examine and confront our shadows. We are meant to bring the shadows into the light, and we are meant to move through fear. We are meant to conquer fear. We are meant to understand and really thoroughly grasp that fear is an illusion and it's not real, and that we don't have to allow the ego to control our every move, our thoughts, but that we can be guided rather by our soul and by the collective force, the collective soul of the world. And what I'm really feeling right now is the collective soul of the world is really powerful. So power in numbers more than ever before, guys. Power in numbers. We're in this together. We're walking through this together. We already know how it ends. We're just watching the movie play out. Really and truly. Believe in the impossible. So those of you who are finding it hard to believe, who may be lacking in faith at this time, whether it's your divine counterpart journey as a twin flame or a soulmate journey, or just your journey as an individual, maybe you don't believe that abundance will ever be yours. It is your birthright. Joy, abundance, wholeness is your birthright. Anything other than love is simply not the truth. It's simply an illusion being presented. Fear is an illusion. So those are some of the challenges that we may come up against. And as always, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't. So now I want to find out what the gifts are that are headed our way with the summer solstice. What gifts are headed our way? Be bold and make the first move. So what I'm feeling, and Kelly and I are going to be talking about this in a lot greater detail. We're going to be holding, I think it's going to be a webinar or a Q&A, a live Q&A. And what we're going to do, so we'll do many readings and answer questions for people. But one of the things we're going to discuss in much greater detail is why it's so important for the person who identifies, the partner who identifies as the feminine energy, to step into your masculine role or energy and mission work at this time, to take action. This is absolutely affecting your connection. And when the feminine is in her power, when she is stepping into action mode, not only does it take the intention, does it take the focus off of your counterpart, what they're doing, what they're not doing, where they are, who they're with, it doesn't matter. None of that is real. But it also puts you back into a place of feeling like you have, I don't want to say control over your life, but control in the positive sense, that you are the master of your ship, that you are the master of your fate. But there's another reason, and I'm going to go into greater detail in this, whether it's a webinar or a live video with Kelly. I think it's going to be a webinar actually, and we'll allow up to 100 people, and then we're going to cap it at that. But it's going to be, we're going to talk in detail because we've had this epiphany. Kelly really had the epiphany and shared it with me. And it just made so much sense that this is how the mirror works in the twin flame connection. This is why it's so important that the feminine understand that when you make the first move, you trigger your counterpart to change and shift in a beautiful, beautiful, tremendously powerful way that's going to shift you closer and closer towards your goal of physical harmonious union. Your dreams need a practical plan. Look at this. This is all about the feminine moving into the masculine energy. I dedicated yesterday to the masculine, so today is being dedicated to the feminine. Bring love into the situation. So feminine, pay attention to your physical world, your outer world right now. You've done a ton of work on your inner world. It's time to integrate the inner and outer world and the lessons learned along the way, along the path, along the journey. One of the other things that's coming up is new moon in Aquarius. So that Aquarian energy that I spoke of a few moments ago. Bring more love into the situation. See through the illusions. Believe in the impossible. Remember, this was a challenge. This is the gift. You bring more love into the situation, the impossible becomes possible. It's limitless possibilities, divine feminine, but you have to believe. You have to get to a place where you have complete and utter faith, regardless of what's happening in the external world, regardless of, well, my twin flame said this, or my partner said this, or my boss said this, or this happened. It doesn't matter. People act in certain ways as pre-planned by your souls so that you learn the lessons that you need to learn. They're playing their roles. You switch the way you think, they will switch their roles, guaranteed. As you heal, for instance, generational trauma in your bloodline, you will notice that your family starts to act differently towards you. They start to treat themselves differently. They may start to take better care of themselves. They start to heal their addictions. They start to speak differently to you. It's all happening. We are all intricately connected, like through the red string of fate, but also it's a ripple effect that flows throughout humanity. We are all connected. The world, the completion of a cycle. Remember, we talked about this with the Pisces energy. This is Piscean energy. So meditate and contemplate. Understand that feminine, this could be a challenge at this time because you are so much asked to be in the physical world that perhaps you've let your meditation, your daily meditation habit or your daily meditation, can't think of the word. Perhaps you've let your daily meditation go and you haven't been spending time in silence or with yourself because you've been very social. And so that could be a challenge right now. That could be a challenge for you to reconnect back to that. The World card is a positive card. It indicates that whatever has hurt you, whatever has caused you pain or strife or has been challenging is now coming to an end, and there's only beautiful things ahead because you've come literally full circle. You've completed the hero's journey that started with the Fool. You started as the Fool, and now you have gone through the Hierophant, you've gone through the Devil energy, you've gone through the Surrendering, you've gone through the Strength energy, you've gone through the Lover's energy, you've gone through all of these energies through the major arcana, with the universe literally holding your hand and guiding you. You've come out the other side. And what's happening, divine feminine, is that things are starting to look up for the first time in a very, very long time. Do not let your ego take control of this and say, well, good things can't happen. This can't last. This is only temporary. Who are you to deserve this joy, this happiness, this freedom, this abundance, this money, this job, this whatever, this travel, this home, whatever it is? Catch your ego in the process, okay? I'm having to do that myself about certain things. You deserve all of the abundance. You deserve the freedom of knowing that everything is working out, that life is not working against you. You lived in that for far too long, and now it's time for you to be free. Free yourself completely from those old cycles of pain and separation. The Chariot. So we have two major arcana cards. If you did not watch my readings yesterday, go watch my readings because you can apply it to your inner masculine as well. And you don't have to be a twin flame to watch these readings. We all have inner masculine, inner feminine energy. What I want to point out that's so fascinating is the masculines yesterday for their reading had mostly major arcana energies or cards. So what this is telling us very clearly is that both twins are being guided heavily by their higher self, by their guides, okay, by their star team, by their ancestors, by God, by the divine universe. And it's kind of out of our control. Like this cycle that's ending is out of our control, but that's what the feminine has learned. You've learned to release codependency. You've learned to release attachment. You've learned to rely on yourself, and you've learned that you cannot control life or other people. It's been a huge lesson for the feminine, huge lesson for the feminine energy within you and your masculine counterpart, their feminine energy. The Chariot, of course, signals fast-moving energy, but also I've always seen the Chariot as two different choices. You have the white stallion, the black stallion, the sun and the moon, the light, the dark, and the union energy here speaks very clearly to me of the masculine and the feminine, or feminine and masculine. I would say masculine, but oftentimes we hear that the feminine is the moon, the masculine is the sun, so take it how it resonates. But be mindful of acting hastily. There's no need to act hastily at this time. Remember, the masculine got the 8 of Wands in their energy yesterday, so this is a very similar energy to me. It's how I perceive the cards. We're all allowed to perceive the cards and interpret them in our own way, and that's what makes tarot so beautiful and so universal at the same time. But I honestly see that, feminine, you've come full circle. You've come into this inner union. You see that there's no need to believe in separation anymore, because you're never actually without your counterpart. You're never actually alone. You're always actually in union. And there's a joy, there's a bliss. She's looking up. Things are looking up. She's believing again. She has faith again. She's believing as above, so below. I create down here what I believe up here, and what I believe down here is what's created down here. So you're finally understanding how everything is balancing out beautifully. And I really feel like from here on forward, especially from June 2021 forward to the rest of the year into 2022, 2023, 2024, many people coming into union, many people stepping out of a lack mentality, stepping into abundance, stepping into a healthy, compassionate partnership, mutually beneficial partnership. So the Chariot card indicates decision to be made for some of you, or fast movement for others of you. Just saw the 9 of Pentacles, right? So that's independence. That's the single card. And that also the 9 of Pentacles is a woman who's really, really happy. And she's created her own wealth, and she doesn't need anyone or anything. Which honestly doesn't trigger the masculine anymore like it did even a few months ago. The masculine is working so hard to create wholeness within themselves that they're no longer triggered by what the feminine is or isn't doing. Or where you're both so focused on your own journeys at this time, and it's for the benefit of the connection. Ace of Swords, you know, this spiral staircase of manifestation, of more positive thoughts. We attract to us that which we believe, that which we continuously think about. That's why thoughts are so important. That's why meditation is so important. You master the mind, you master yourself. So the Ace of Swords, definitely new ideas, feeling inspired, Divine Feminine. Feeling as though things are finally going to work out. I'm really happy with this reading, so I'm going to leave it right here and probably do a lengthier reading later tonight, but I wanted to hop on and do this for you guys. So know that you're being inspired. There's brilliant ideas. Manifestation powers are at their height right now. Everything is exactly where it's meant to be. Things are moving beautifully and flowing beautifully with the World card, the Chariot, moving forward momentum, forward movement. And your mind is starting to catch up with your soul, but you're living from the heart as the masculine is. Have a beautiful day, guys. Thank you for joining me here. I know this was a shorter reading, but I'll be back later for a lengthier reading. Take great care and stay tuned for many more things to be introduced to the channel. Blessings.